My fellow Guyanese, you will be aware that since I and my government assumed office in August 2020, we have devoted ourselves to the task of improving the lives of all Guyanese. We have pursued this objective through the 3 successive budgets, starting first with implementing emergency measures to reverse the terrible hardships inflicted by the unconscionable APNU AFC government on the people of Guyana, as well as measures to salvage and restart the economy after their 5 years of misrule and mismanagement. At the same time, we have been laying the foundation for rapidly transforming our country. This transformation is now well on its way. Under challenging and extreme external conditions, as you know, we have been doing all this in a context that is severely affected by historically harsh global conditions. First, the COVID-19 pandemic has swept through the world, causing havoc and upturning every aspect of daily existence. Among its vast consequences, the pandemic has caused factories and ports in major economic centers around the world to be extended to be destroyed through extended and repeated lockdowns, resulting in shortages of manufactured items, disruptions to the global supply chain, and consequential inflationary pressure. To put this in perspective, the cost of shipping a container across continents has increased by 7 times since March 2020. As if this were not enough, the onslaught of war in Ukraine has also triggered economic effects throughout the world. Again, through commodity shortages and inflationary pressures. Russia and Ukraine are both major commodity producers and exporters, and the war has caused supply disruptions and price escalation. Russia and Ukraine account for 30% of global exports of wheat, 20% for corn, mineral fertilizers, and natural gas, and 11% for oil. As a result, the war has caused the prices of all these commodities to reach record levels. These 2 global shocks have combined to exert tremendous pressure on economies around the world. The annual rate of inflation in the US, as of April 2022, stood at 8.3%, the highest level since the 1980s, and food prices rose by 9.4% over the year, the largest 12-month increase since 1981. In the United Kingdom, annual inflation is at 7% as of March 2022, the highest rate in 30 years. And the same is observed all over the world, in developed and developing countries alike. If we were to look at individual commodities, in the case of crude oil, the world market price was as low as $20 a barrel in April 2020. When we came into office in August 2020, the crude oil price was US $44 per barrel. Today, it is $114 a barrel, US dollars. Turning to fertilizer, prices on the world market. These rose by 80% in 2021 and have already risen by a further 30% since the start of 2022. Urea, for example, was trading at US $245 per metric ton in December 2020. Last month, the average price for urea was US $925 per metric ton. This reflects the rapid surge in the price of natural gas, which is a key input in the production of fertilizer. The world market price for wheat has similarly skyrocketed, moving from US $223 per metric ton in August 2020 to $495 US last month. On top of all this, in Guyana, we also had to grapple with the consequences of unusually high rainfall in 2021, resulting in floods that severely disrupted food production. Fellow Guyanese, as you know, my government has deployed the widest range of policy instruments to safeguard the well-being of the Guyanese people and to cushion the impact of the very harsh external pressures currently being faced. We have implemented measures to ease costs of living. These measures included removal of VAT on electricity, water, household necessities, educational and medical supplies, cellular phones, and most basic construction materials. Capping the cost of freight at pre-pandemic levels for purposes of determining import taxes, and complete removal of the 50% excise tax on fuel, bringing it down to zero. We removed all the taxes from fuel, bringing it down to zero. We have implemented measures to increase disposable income, including distribution of $7.5 billion worth of COVID-19 cash grants, provision of $7.8 billion of flood relief support to those most severely affected by the 2021 floods, increasing the income tax threshold from $65,000 to $75,000, releasing $1.3 billion to those who pay income tax, increasing the monthly old age pension from $20,500 to $28,000, increasing the disposable income in the hands of our senior citizens by $6.3 billion annually, increasing the monthly public assistance payment from $9,000 to $14,000, increasing the transfer to this vulnerable group by $950 million, restoring and increasing the cash grants given to school children to $25,000 per child, giving parents a total of $2 billion annually, while at the same time increasing the uniform grants from $4,000 to $5,000 per child, resulting in a total transfer of $200 million, and providing a cash grant of $250,000 to severed sugar workers, resulting in a total transfer of $1.3 billion to these persons. We have also taken steps to reduce the cost of home ownership, including removing VAT on most basic construction material, increasing the ceiling on low-income housing loans from $8 million to $15 million, increasing the ceiling for loans by the New Building Society from $12 million to $15 million, and doubling the ceiling for eligibility for mortgage income relief from $15 million to $30 million. As you know, these are only a selection of the measures we have implemented thus far. Nevertheless, fellow Guyanese, we as a caring government and a government that has been consulting with the Guyanese people, and as a government that would continue to look at innovative ways and measures in which we can ease the hardship of the Guyanese people, have always looked at new ways in which we can provide additional benefit. So notwithstanding the sweeping range of measures we have already implemented, I now wish to announce further initiatives aimed at bringing additional relief to the people of our country. These measures have benefited from the widespread ongoing consultations that my government has had with communities throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. 1. Cash grant to households in riverine and hinterland communities. First, in order to bring relief to those households facing extreme hardship, my government will be providing a special one-off grant of $25,000 to every single household in riverine and hinterland communities. This will place an additional $800 million at the disposal of these households who have been particularly affected by recent rises in cost of living. So our first initiative is targeted at households in riverine and hinterland communities. A transfer of $25,000 cash grant to each of these households. As I mentioned earlier, the cost of fertilizer has affected the production costs for farmers, which has translated into increased prices on the market. So the second measure I wish to look at is fertilizer support to farmers. In order to cushion the impact of the rising cost of fertilizer on farmers and to limit the pass-through to food prices, my government will be purchasing $1 billion worth of fertilizer for free distribution to farmers for use in their planting and replanting activities. Considering that fertilizer accounts for between 15 to 30% of the total operating costs for farmers, this initiative will significantly reduce input costs and help ensure scaled-up production and adequate supply of output, which is critical to maintaining price stability. Both of the above measures will be financed from the special $5 billion allocated in Budget 2022 for the purpose of easing the impact of rising costs of living, and will cost a total of $1.8 billion. Meanwhile, my government continues to consult with the communities across the country with the aim of intensifying other measures to bring relief to the widest range of groups who have been affected by recent cost of living pressures. Among this group I'm talking about will be the pensioners, children, and the vulnerable people. So our government is continuing this exercise of consulting to see the best possible measures that can be brought on stream to support those groups. The third measure I wish to announce is that related to the construction sector and the extensive housing program and initiative the government has launched. This initiative I wish to announce relates to my government home ownership drive. As you know, we have committed to distributing 50,000 house lots during our current term of office. And we are well on our way to achieving this, having already gone past more than 10,000 mark. One of the issues that has been brought to our attention during our consultation with communities across the country is the fact that many households who now have a house lot encounter huge challenges managing the process of constructing their home. That is, of course, perfectly understandable, because managing construction of a house is not a trivial task, considering that most of these families have absolutely no prior experience in home construction, and that they're, in any event, already occupied with the day-to-day demands of work and family life. Many find themselves in a situation where they have a household but are simply unable to manage the tasks of building a house on the lot. In order to help Guyanese families who have a government-allocated or privately owned house lot, not necessarily in a government-developed housing scheme, but who have thus far been unable to build on their lot, the government is proposing to launch a home construction assistance facility, which will work in the following manner. Persons who have a house lot and wish to receive government help to construct a home on that lot may register their interest with a unit that will be establishing soon for this purpose. At the time of registration, the applicant will also select the preference from among 3 standard pre-designed models at a cost of $7 million, $9 million, and $12 million, depending on the applicant income level. Government will support the applicant through the process of applying for bank financing to meet the cost of constructing the home, and will also look at helping in the initial phase of construction by the releasing of resources to expedite the construction process and help in bringing the banks, the homeowners together so that you can own your own home. Now, government will also undertake the construction of home on behalf of the applicant and deliver to the applicant a complete home in accordance with the options selected. We expect that this measure will help to drastically accelerate the capacity of Guyanese families to own and occupy their own home and house lots that they've already owned or that they have been allocated, but on which they are currently having difficulties managing the complex process of home ownership and also having access to financing. This measure in relation to owning your own home and housing has many benefits. One, it would increase the occupation level in existing housing schemes. It will reduce dependency on rental. It would accelerate home ownership. It will accelerate more activities in the construction sector. It will make it easier for persons to get financing to build their homes, where the government will be partnering with the prospective homeowners, the banks, and the contractors in delivering an end product, that is, a home to the respective families. We have seen over the last few months tremendous interest in the government-constructed homes or houses. And our ability to service that interest has driven us to this conclusion, that there is a great need in the society for prospective homeowners to have a one-stop or a comprehensive solution. And this measure aims at doing this, taking away the burden from the prospective homeowner of going to the bank and getting themselves qualified. All of this will be brought under one umbrella, one home ownership management umbrella, to make it easier to own your own home. The next measure I wish to announce is the removal of VAT on additional construction material. As you know, we have already removed VAT on a wide range of basic construction material. Most recently, we removed VAT on cement to reduce the cost of this critical input in home construction. We are now proposing to extend the removal of VAT to sheetrock and concrete board until the market stabilizes. This measure is expected to cost $100 million annually, but will provide critical additional relief to persons constructing their homes, in keeping with our government's strong commitment to make home ownership affordable to every single Guyanese family. Fellow Guyanese, together, the above initiatives represent just the latest installment of measures that my government is proposing to implement to improve the lives of all Guyanese people. We will, of course, continue our close engagement and consultations with communities across the country, and remain committed to addressing the needs and concerns of all the people of this beautiful country of ours. Continue to stay safe, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much.